Hey, good morning everyone. It's Timmy here with Chalk Happy. It is Wednesday morning and it seems like it has been forever since I've had the opportunity to go live. Last night I had a wonderful chalk and sip party here at my house and was inspired to work on a hanging banner this morning with you. We had such a great time at the Chalk and Sip and Chalk, I always get them mixed up. And there was lots of questions about our ink and our textiles, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to highlight our hanging banner and how you can create with it using our couture inks. So that's what we're going to focus on this morning. If you're watching the replay, welcome. I know it's a little early here, so some of you may not be with me yet live. That's all right. Definitely feel free to comment or share if you're not a Chalk Couture designer with other friends who you think might like this video. And feel free to say hi when you pop in and let me know what you think about these inks and about our new hanging banner. I think you're going to like it. So just before we get started, I want to make sure indeed we are going live here. So I'm going to just check my iPad and make sure everything is looking good. Things are looking a little quiet here on my iPad. Let's see if it's awake. And then we'll get started. So this is an early morning crafting project for me. Usually I am getting ready for work. I have the great privilege of working from home. So I actually just have to cross the hall over into my office in a little bit. All right, awesome. I see me live, so that is good, and I can watch these. Let me just make sure I am muted so you don't hear me twice. All right, perfect. So if you are here and you want to say hi, I can definitely see your comments and feel free to respond while we hear. All right, so as I said, we're going to use our hanging banner, and we're going to use this transfer that we have out for Halloween. It's called I Am Only Here for the Candy. It is a really big transfer. This is actually one of the largest transfers we make. It is the largest size transfer we make. It's what we call a size E, and it retails for $39.99. What's really great is that you can use this silkscreen transfer on any surface. Today we're using it on our canvas hanging banner, but you can use this on pillowcases, on chalkboards, on the wall, whatever you like. So it's definitely lots of fun, and you can reuse it over and over again. So the expense for the transfer makes it a little bit worthwhile because you can just reuse it again and again. So we're going to just dive right into the project. I'm going to flip my camera down so you can see what I'm working on here and no longer see me, so hopefully that will work for you. What we want to first do is open up our transfer. By the way, what you see here in front of me, this is one of our ink mats, and it is an adhesive-backed mat, so that when you put your canvas item on it, whether it's a pillowcase or one of our banners, for instance, it's going to hold your project nice and still. Now, I want to unwrap this banner so you can see exactly what comes in it. So it is a canvas banner, as you can see here, and when I lay it down on my ink mat, because it does have that adhesion, it's going to flatten out and get rid of any of the wrinkles that I have on my banner, and it's going to give me a nice smooth surface to ink on. So I can lay that out. And it also comes with these two wooden magnetic boards, and I'm sure I don't break them here. You just slide them apart. You can see they have magnets, and that's what you're going to put at the top and bottom of your banner to hang. So I'm going to put this on quite evenly, but that's all right. It's repositionable here, so we can get it where we want it and then put it up. And you can see it has at the top and the bottom this magnetic option. So what that means is that you can create a banner for this season, like we're doing for Halloween, and then you can actually get a refill for your banner, and we sell those as well. A set of 2 for just $9.99, a great deal. And you can create a brand new banner for the next season. Very cool. Isn't that cool? So, so that is a little bit about our hanging banner. We're not going to need these magnetic pieces quite yet, so I'm going to put them aside. And I just want to make sure that this is nice and even where I want it. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to take our transfer here, and we are going to start getting it ready for us to use. So obviously the first thing we want to do is take it out of the package. So right at the bottom here, we can just peel open the magnetic, this little strip, sticky strip, and pull it out. Now, hopefully you can see this close enough to see that there are little white lines. These are cut lines, and that's where we're going to cut apart our transfer, and we're going to actually use some layering on this to create our cotton candy. Oh my goodness, our candy corn. By the way, I did bring a little candy corn jar over here for color inspiration. One of the cool things about this is that you can make your candy corn color anything you like. So if you want to change this up and make it for Christmas, you can make Christmas color candy corn instead of Halloween or fall candy corn colors. So it's totally up to you. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting our silk screen along here, these cutting lines. And then before we start to use them, I'm actually just going to put a little note on the back of each of these so that I know which order to layer these candy corns in. As I mentioned, I have a little pile of candy corns here next to me to remind me generally what color is on the bottom. Now you could do whatever you'd like, but I figured we'll try to stay consistent and true to a real candy cane. Hey Paula, so glad you're joining us from sunny Florida. Why are you not in the pool yet? I know it's maybe a little too early for that, right? Hope the weather is great. I hope the red tide is going away in Florida and you're out enjoying the beach as well. Nice to have you here. Okay. So we've got a couple of different pieces here. This is our saying. So if you're a Ray Dunn fan, this is a really fun font. It says, "I'm only here for the candy." We're going to do that in black. But before I take it off the transfer sheet, I'm just going to write here for candy on the back. That way I know when I go to put it back on my backer sheet, which is this white transfer sheet, that this is the piece that goes on here, and it's going to go on this side, not on the side that we wrote back on. Water aerobics. Oh, good for you. I am jealous. You have a wonderful time, Paula. Okay, and then we've got, this is the final outline, so this is going to be our last piece. Believe it or not, this open piece is our first layer. So I'm just going to write candy corn first layer. The Sharpie. This is our middle layer here, and this is our bottom layer. So this is our second layer. And this is our third layer. This guy here. And then of course this is our outline. So you can write whatever makes sense to you on the back here. This is more just reminders for me. All right, so now I have a few colors of inks that we're going to use. Now you probably have seen me work with our chalk paste before, which if you remember, our chalk pastes are semi-permanent. You definitely could use chalk paste on this banner if you only have paste, that's absolutely fine. The inks though will make it permanent once we heat set it. So if I put an iron to this after it's dry and go over it for about 4 minutes on both sides, then it's going to heat set this, and it means that I'll be able to wash it if I need to. So we're using 4 colors. We've got our black velvet, and that's what our words are going to be. I have a candy apple, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. I have white, of course we need white for our candy corn, and of course we have bumblebee yellow for our yellow. What you're noticing that I'm missing is my orange. I don't have my orange ink. So what I'm going to do is show you how you can mix these 2 colors. Indeed, you can mix. and make orange. So we'll have orange for us to use. And as a matter of fact, now is probably a good time to go ahead and do that mix just so that we have it ready. I'm going to move this off to the side because I tend to make a little bit of a mess and I don't want to get ink all over my project until I'm actually ready to put it down. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the red and a little bit of the yellow. Remember our art class, Mary, if you're watching, you'll be really proud of me. And we are going to mix these two together to make orange. Now, just like our chalk paste, the ink goes a really long way, so I'm not going to need tons. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to grab some red and put it here. I'm not exactly sure how much of each I'm going to need to make the orange color that I want, so I'm going to use a third little stir guy here to mix it up. So just make sure you give it a good stir, and you can mix it in anything you want. I happen to have these little makeup containers that I use to put sample pastes in. This is looking really pretty, but kind of corally. So what do you think? A little more yellow or a little more red? I'm going to say a little more yellow. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but I guess we'll find out here. And I just don't want to mix them in my big containers, so I'm going to try to keep all of those a little bit, my little stirrers here, a little bit separate. Oh, yep, that was the right color option. Where are my art friends when I need them? All right, I think that should probably do it for us. Just want to make sure I got it well mixed, and we'll be ready to get started. All right, I like it. What do you think? It's kind of small, but I think it's gonna work. So I'm gonna leave that here and put it off to the side. I'm going to grab this and put it off here to the side as well. I'm gonna throw that in my little water bath, so I don't need that anymore. And I'm gonna put these off to the side as well, just so that I don't stick my hand in it by accident. It's always good to have some wipes nearby. They can be your friend, so keep them nearby if you need to. All right, move this one more spot over here just to get it out of the way. All right, and here we go. So here we go, we have our banner. It's all adhered down to our ink mat, and now we are ready to take our words, "I'm only here for the candy," and put it where we want it. I'm going to put it right here, giving myself a little bit of room at the top so that we can put the hanging banner part. And my friend Jess told me a little tip here that I'm going to share. When removing a big transfer from the backer sheet, and this is a pretty good size one, what you want to do is you want to first start, if you have any nails, unlike me, you want to pull it off initially in the corner and then turn it upside down and gently lift the backer sheet from the transfer. Why do you want to do that? Well, these are silkscreen transfers. They're adhesive backed and they're pretty darn sticky. Sticky is good because it means it's going to adhere to our project really easily, but it also means it can stick to itself, and this will help avoid that. And it'll also make sure that you don't stretch your transfer. You really want to make sure that when you're working with your silkscreen that you take it and work with it gently so that you're not stretching it. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to reuse again. Now, when we're using, I'm going to move this up a little actually. When we're using chalk, or when we're working on chalk boards, we often will use a little cloth to fuzz our transfer. But because we're working right on, and we'll off my, there we go. I want to move that just so that this is really on the ink mat. Because we're working on fabric, we don't need to fuzz our transfer because the backing of our material is already fuzzy. So no need to worry about that. Now when you adhere this down, you do want to make sure that you don't have any bubbles, because bubbles are not going to be your friend. They're going to leave a little pop where you don't want it. So you want to make sure that you just wipe this area down. Use your finger or use a squeegee to just make sure that you're pressing out any air bubbles that might be underneath. Now the other tip my friend shared with me, Jess, I love you, she shared that if you work in an up and down motion, then you may find that you have a little bit of a cleaner transfer. So we're going to do that. So the letters I am going to make black. So I'm going to open up my black ink here. And I am going to dab just a little bit of the black ink around on my transfer here. Now a little bit goes a long way, and I am going to use that big squeegee with the handle, it's called our handled squeegee, to pull the color over these. So I may need to add a little more, but I don't mind starting with a little less first. As I said, it's going to go a pretty long way. I probably could have even started right at the beginning and let that be, but all right, so we're going to take our squeegee and just in an up and down motion. Yeah, I get a little was a little frugal on my amount here. That's all right. We can easily add some more when we're ready. But again, straight up and down motion rather than going across will help you keep this just where you want it. We can go back over the spots where we want to add a little more. Let's start with that and see. Ah, yeah, that's better. I was going to go over my own. I was just going to ignore my own rule there about not going just up and down. I'm a stander when I work, so I am standing to give this a little bit more pressure. My board is sticky here. I was definitely being way too frugal here with my ink, but easy enough to go back and certainly add in more as we need it. One of the nice things with the ink is that it's really nice and smooth. It's a really beautiful texture to use. Let's start there. Make sure I don't have any on my hands. I'm good. All right, excellent. That's better. All right, our first layer is done. Oh, there's Zoe saying hello. Say good morning, everyone, to Zoe. Ah, way better when you put enough ink on there. See? Much better. Hi, Zoe. All right, and then the last bit is right here. Just take your time, move slowly, and we can go back over any areas that need a little extra. You know, because this is fabric, our ink is going to absorb a little bit into the fabric, so the big question I have as I'm making this, you can let me know what you think, is are you a candy corn fan? If you're watching this on the replay, definitely put a emoji in about how you feel about There we go. How you feel about candy corn? I have a thought that some people really either love candy corn, hate candy corn, or kind of in the middle. So once I hear some of your comments, I'll let you know how I feel about candy corn. In terms of eating it and decorating with it, two different things in my opinion. And I'm just trying to get that last little bit here on. As you see, I'm not using a whole lot, and that's because we just don't need to put tons on and make this get into our fabric. I have a fair coming up this weekend, and I think this is going to be a very popular item. So I wanted to bring one of the banners with me so that people could see how it's done. The other thing I'm curious to hear from you is my class last night was really interested in the idea of having an ink class and doing a banner. So if you think that having a banner of the month class would be something you'd be interested in, I'd love to hear you. Let me know. Just put a comment in the comment box and let me know if you think that sounds like something you'd be interested in or you think would be fun to do. As I mentioned, you can buy the banner and then buy a replacement banner or a 2-pack of replacement banners and change up your decor for the holidays. Hey, Mary Lyons, so nice to chat with you. Happy to have you here this morning. Mary Lyons and I know each other from way back in our Pampered Chef days. She is an awesome Pampered Chef consultant. If you need anything, Mary is your go-to person. A little shout out for you, Mary. All right, and we are ready to go ahead and pull this up. Now this transfer, as I said, it's adhesive backed, it's a silk screen. We don't want to stretch it, so instead of pulling it on a diagonal, what you want to do is pull it as much as you can straight down. And you get this nice little opportunity to peel and reveal. It is pulling up a little from my back, so I want to make sure that I'm holding that as I'm pulling up. My transfer. Here we go. And if I pull it gently enough, make sure I don't have any ink on my hands and I'm going to get in the way, then I can also avoid curling my transfer. Yeah, all right. And I avoided pulling it, and it's going right into my water bath. All right, as you see here, let me wash my hands before I pick this back up. Ugh. Awesome. Make sure I don't have any ink on there. I'm good. Phew! And there we are. I'm only here for the candy. Now my ink mat, part of why it's not as sticky as it should be is I actually made a little bit of a boo-boo recently. Actually the first time I used it. So let me tell you my boo-boo so hopefully you won't repeat my mistakes. And that is that when you wash your ink mat, you don't need to wash it with an antiseptic wipe or anything like that. As a matter of fact, you don't want to because it's going to take the stickiness off. So just use a wet paper towel, just enough to wipe it clean, and then you'll be all set to go. All right, we are ready for our first layer of candy corn, and our first layer is going to be white. So we're going to peel this off the back of the transfer, not as big as the other one, so we can just peel that off without too much fuss. Place it down where we want it. Again, making sure that there are no bubbles. That looks pretty good. And open up our white. Here we go. And use our squeegee here. This is our small squeegee, by the way. This is a little different consistency, the white, I'm noticing. So let me just give it a stir here before we use it, just to make sure that it is nice and smooth. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at that. little bit of a stir. And of course, being the messy girl, got a little bit of ink on my hands. So I'm going to grab a little towel. All right, and now we are ready to stick this in and pull the chalk paste down over our screen. Now, we talked about these being silk screens, and we're using ink with them today, but they can also be used for chalk. They are reusable. You just wash them off with a little bit of water. As I'm working today, I just have a little water bath here sitting next to me, and I can just put in my transfers as I'm finished with them into that water bath. And after I finish my project, I'm just going to head over to my sink and wash them off, just finger wash them a little bit. And I'm trying this up and down motion here that Jess told me about, but I really want to go sideways, so I'm trying to be patient with myself here. And the reason why she suggested the up and down motion is that there's a little less likely for bleed when you don't go in too many different directions with the ink on the fabric. So that is her tip, and so we're going to see if that works indeed as well. I think it's going to. It looks like it did pretty well for our words at the top there. So I'm thinking it's going to work pretty well here too. So as I said, one of the benefits of using our ink is that you can heat set it, meaning it'll make it permanent, and then you can wash this banner if you need to. So if it gets dusty, it's been hanging up for a while, or you take it out the following season after having put it away, you can just go ahead and pop it in the wash, and you won't ruin your transfer design. All right, see, I can't help it. I just want to go sideways. All right, almost there, almost totally full with the white. The other thing I do like a little bit with the inks is that it's a little more forgiving in terms of layering than sometimes it is with chalk. You don't have to wait quite as long between layering times as you do with chalk. So there we go. We're going to pull up our transfer, checking my fingers here to make sure I don't have any and here we go. Peel and reveal. There is our bottom layer. My transfer was stuck there onto my ink mat. All right, I just put that over into the water bath. I'm going to give this a minute or two here to dry. I'm going to wipe off my squeegee here because we're going to want to reuse it with the new color. So another good reason I have a little adhesive cloth here next to you. Paper towels are also good. I think I have one of those handy as well. And hey Alexis, nice to have you watching this morning. We're in the midst of doing our hanging banner using our inks, and we're using the I'm only here for the candy transfer. Now these are all available on in my Chalk Couture store. If you haven't visited my website, I'll put the link in after we finish here, but it is www.chalkcouture.com/Timi, T-I-M-I. And we're just going to let this give a little bit more drying time, and then we're ready to put on our next layer. And as I said, our next layer is going to be our bottom layer, which is going to be yellow. So let's just wait until that is a little bit more tacky. Give that another minute or two. And again, as you're watching, if you're watching the replay or you just joined us live, let me know what you think about the idea of a Banner of the Month Club class. I do a chalk class each month where we change up our chalkboard with a seasonal design. And I thought maybe it might be fun to do that with a banner as well using our inks. So if that sounds like something that you think might be fun or that you think I might consider offering, let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback about that. So I'm just gonna touch this. It's still a little bit coming up on my hand, so I want to give it another minute or two. And if you're in a real hurry, you could definitely take a blow dryer, or if you have a heat tool, if you're a scrapbooker, you could use that also to get it dry. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and give this a whirl. And what we're going to do is we're going to place this right over the bottom layer of our candy corn. And remind me again, what color did I say? Oh, this is going to be our yellow. I'm not quite where I want it. I see a little spot here that is not going where I would like. Let me just reposition this a bit. Nice with the adhesion. It's going to give us a little flexibility here. Yeah, that looks better. It did there and then it didn't there. Oh, much better. Okay. Now again, make sure that we have pressed this down and there's no bubbles. Just trying to be very gentle here. Still not loving it. I'm going to try that one more time. There we go. All right, and the yellow. Press that down. Grab our yellow. And same thing, up and down. And we only are having to worry about the screened areas. Anywhere is in green, we don't need to add any ink. There we go. Wipe off any excess. Make sure we get all the way to the edge. All right, layer 2 is now done. Maybe I'll pull it from this direction this time. Ooh, there is our beautiful yellow bottom. Put this over here into the water bath. And then our next layer is going to be that orange. So here we go, our next layer. This is the middle part. And again, we'll just give this a second or two here to dry. Oh, and there's Zoe again saying hello. Hey, Zoe. I'm going to just flatten this out again a little bit. Make sure that that's nice and flat. I'm going to peel off the backer. And I'm going to wrap this up and head to work here in just a few more minutes. All right. There is our orange layer. And remember I said I did not have the orange, so earlier I mixed my red and yellow to make orange. So here we go. Looks like we have plenty there. Just gonna grab another squeegee here. Ah, hi Zoe. Perfect. That orange was perfect. And more than enough. So I'll have it again for another project when I need orange. Ooh, hey, hey. Sorry for the barking. What's going on, Zoe? Hey. Shh. You can see how she's staring at me. I think there's somebody outside. apologize for the noise. Hey. Shh, shh. Always has to be known, that girl. All right, there we go. There is our orange. I should mute you. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. And there is the orange. Excellent. Now, one last layer we could do, and I'll probably do it off camera here since someone's being very barky, but it's this one. Oh, maybe she's going to stop. It actually is going to go right over our candy corn, and we're going to do it in black to give it a nice little outline. And oh, maybe she settled down here enough for us to do that. So let me give this one more second to dry, and then we'll jump right in. In the meantime, I'm going to put away and cover up my inks that we've used. So again, in order to make that pretty orange, I just used our candy apple red and our bumblebee yellow, which is right here. Of course, we used white, and we also used the black for the lettering. Alexis, that's right, we're using ink today. You could absolutely use chalk on the banner if you want. It just wouldn't be washable, so if you want it to be washable, I would definitely recommend going with the inks. But I have absolutely used the canvas. I've used chalks on canvas and it works just fine, so you absolutely can. Okay, so let's see if we can get this lined up. Oh, there she goes. She's going to bark a little more for us now. And again, it doesn't have to be totally perfect. Perfect is manufactured. Handmade is personal touches. And here we go. Just doing a little bit of the outline here on our candy corn. So again, if you're interested in seeing my lives going forward, please feel free to mark the notifications option, and that will let you know when I'm going live again. I try to do them at least once a week if I'm not traveling for my other job. And if you're interested in getting some product specials or coming to any of my classes and you'd like first dibs on when those are happening, please feel free to request to join my VIP group. If you haven't, just type in VIP in the comments and I would be happy to send you the link. I also offer some great product discounts and bundle packages available in my VIP group only. So if you're interested in those, definitely just let me know and I'd be happy to add you. All right, our outline is done. And we're just gonna pull that up. And there we go. Voila, we are done. So that's it. I hope you had fun watching and learning a little bit about how it is you can use our inks on canvas. And if you have any questions or need any help with locating a project, just let me know. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great day and an awesome morning. Thanks, everybody. Hey, good morning, Sharon. We just finished. I'll give you a little quick preview. There we go of what we made today. Cute little banner. And I'll put up the finished project in just a little bit once I hang it. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.